World.
Right here where my
Sit
big
back.
old cup of, I don't even know
Come on over here,
if
sister.
this is a latte or a cappuccino.
Hey, I don't know if y'all know how important we are, but this is really
Welcome
classic.
back to
Welcome
Dr.
back,
PhilGood,
welcome back, welcome
where
back.
real talk meets cellular healing. I almost said real healing, but I mean that's a little overused at this point.
Do you remember the
Real.
little advertisement for the movie I was making that said real life, real folks? It was REEL.
That was
Real
just
story.
before Facebook Reels came out too.
It was, wasn't it? Son, I'm telling you what, I'm connected to something.
Well, have you guys ever watched the leaves fall and felt like your body was craving the same kind of release?
Oh, I do. But I'm weird. So
I thought we've been watching here these beautiful leaves.
yeah. I've been
falling.
preaching this composting idea that God's got working in our physical body, and for a minute now, I'm really excited about this show. I forgot that's what this
So
was
we're going to
about.
talk about how your body sheds the old, makes room for the new, and how we support that instead of sabotaging it. It's probably very timely right now.
Yeah, let's give the shout out to
fall
the Patrick
hits,
Risha
but yes.
CTE Awareness Foundation for sponsoring us. If you've seen our previous episodes, you see our new studio. You get to see it and hear it. Today you're hearing the audio come through Rode mics that were bought by Patrick Risha CTE Awareness Foundation. And they support everything that we do. I mean, they probably don't stand behind everything I say and go, yeah, we support that. But they give us the go on everything. So we appreciate their help and for making this possible and paying us. Fru gets a check every week for Dr. PhilGood. And she says, I'm the one who's Dr. PhilGood. I said, well, then maybe I should get the check.
I thought this was Dr. PhilGood, this whole thing over here.
Oh, you're the one that called it Feel Good. She's the one that make it feel all right. Yes, I know it. It's just part of our, this is part of our
All right, so let's define autophagy simply as...
Autophagy.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's define autophagy simply as what? David, I know you did a research on this, so... if you didn't, then you can maybe look at
where your body turns on itself and eats. Oh, no, I like to dig it up out of my brain. I like to find out if I've reserved any memory.
So it's like your body natural
eats on itself.
Recycling program,
yeah,
right?
So it's the composter. It's taking what your body... Okay, let's say if you fast in a certain amount of days fasting, your body automatically starts eating the dead cells, right? It's hungry, so it eats the stuff that you're trying to get rid of.
Well, this isn't a process that stops. It's just kind of like detox, it's not a process that ever stops. What matters...
Oh, it's always...
This is what cancer researchers found, is that what matters is how fast this process actually works, how efficiently this process
Hey, Ashley.
works
Hey, Caleb.
in your body. Hey, Ashley and Caleb. So the problem is, you see, like if you look at cancer cells are mutated cells, and we all have mutations in our bodies because of environmental toxins, toxic thoughts.
Because we live in 2025.
Stress, whatever, the list is pretty long.
Right.
But why does one person have cancer then, and why does another one not have cancer?
Genetics?
So no, we're talking about autophagy
autophagy,
today.
yes.
And so what these cancer researchers found was that how efficiently that works actually has a huge and enormous...
As the body works on its own to
effect on whether or not somebody's gonna be prone to get cancer. So we have all the reasons for promoting that process, but where do you even hear about autophagy, and what's the simplest thing that you can do, that anybody can do? It doesn't matter.
I think of it, when I think of autophagy, I think of fasting.
Right.
Because that kicks it in.
Right, so just like not eating, the body can enter that mode where it starts to do this faster. And so why is this important? And that's why we're talking about it right now, is because it doesn't matter how healthy and how clean your life is and how you live in the middle of the ocean on an island, where there is no EMF, like
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter because your cells still have a life cycle just like
Yeah,
these leaves
7 years,
do.
right?
No, that depends on what kind of cell
What kind
you're
of cell
talking
it
about.
is.
But
Cells from
but
heaven.
all cells have a life cycle, meaning they are born one day and then they die another day.
And they can be reborn. By
And
the way.
so
So awesome.
and so what makes this detox process or the autophagy so interesting and important is that that's a process that happens in everybody. It doesn't matter
Yep.
how healthy you are. So you're always gonna create this debris that your body is gonna consider toxic.
And so, since we are now homesteaders for the last few years, and I've learned a lot about composting, you'll hear me utilize this information that Fruz's going to teach us about autophagy and what our body's doing, also with how I turn all the crap and unwanted dead things into the best dirt that makes the food that we eat, that then goes back in and starts our bodies health all over again.
Well, the truth is, or the issue is for a lot of people, when it comes to cancer or other like degenerative diseases or chronic issues, is, like we all have injuries. So it's not just the environmental toxins or, how healthy you eat or, all that kind of stuff. It's also like we all have injuries and we all have unresolved issues in our bodies. So all of this is putting a burden. We talked about the allostatic load in one of the
How'd you like how I
previous
threw that up
episodes.
last night?
And
So smart, aren't I?
yeah, I don't remember
In conversation.
the
Oh, you ought to listen sometime.
It was with Marina.
Yeah, I was really sharp. Hey, you guys, I don't know if you're going to be able to deal with it or not.
Anyway,
As
so
much as
when we have injuries or these unresolved issues, that puts more of a pressure on our body, and so our body has
Allostatic
less
load.
of an ability to do these
Do its
metabolic
job.
processes as efficiently as
Yeah.
it would
Busy
if
doing
we didn't
something
have
else.
those things. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It's
Okay,
busy
so
doing something else.
another way we can look at this is that brain injuries. I have a lot of things going on since I have the amount of injuries I have to my brain when it comes to toxins and other things coming into my brain. I guess past the blood-brain barrier.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about toxins. That's exactly where we're
That's
going
where I'm
from
headed to.
here.
I'm
is,
so smart.
Yes, thank you for the segue.
Segue.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. I didn't even look down at the paper. It just flows.
So what are the things that can slow down this process? Well, actually, one of them is to take a lot of medications. Have you ever had any old friends who had 17, 18 prescription medications, and they were basically just getting sicker
You don't
and
even
sicker,
have to have old friends to have that many medicines
from
these days.
month to month, and what they needed was just they needed more and more medication. So from at some point they only took 4 or 5, and then they went up to 13, and
keeps
then
going.
they
Yeah.
it just until
If
they
you're
lived.
a brain injury survivor and you've made it into the psychiatric world and started getting tossed around through all that, boy, I'm sorry for you. There's a way out. I am not on any psychiatric meds. I think I took a picture of one of the prescriptions that I got written for me, and it was $100. My insurance covers 100% of everything
Right.
except medicine that is helped to heal me.
It was
Like,
also
this
the
is a
first
medicine
time you
that
got
helps
that
my
prescription,
my
so it's not very,
testosterone and estrogen level out in the right direction.
not very
And
typical that the allostatic load is not like a front issue or not issue, but goal for us to work against in your situation, which is why
we've got all that.
you don't take too many medications.
that's
but
why.
But what we're about to share here is why that's important from an allostatic load point of view,
Yeah,
which
so-
is that I don't know if you guys ever heard of LD50. Do you know what this is, David?
Yes, it's a sheet they have to come up with that shows when something's toxic, how much of it will kill you or something
Okay,
like
so-
that. No?
So in toxicology, LD50 is the dose at which 50% of the test animals
Oh,
die.
okay, so I'm close to it, yeah.
50% of the rats that they tested that pharmaceutical on. And why we're talking about this is because we're talking about toxins. And so I just want you guys to know this is something that I recently learned, and it shocked the heck out of me.
Like that.
Exactly. It was that you cannot categorize any substances as a pharmaceutical without being able
Not
to
knowing
put
how
an
many rats
LD.
it'll kill.
Yeah, if it doesn't kill rats, it's not a pharmaceutical. Okay, so how about that? When
How
I
about
found it, I
that?
said, "Say what?"
Yeah.
And then the whole thing started to get together. I'm like, oh, so that's why the whole war against the herbs is happening, because like you can't with the majority of the herbs
Hey,
though
you
that
think-
you use as a supplement, you may not be able to kill the rats with. I
Hey,
don't know.
you know what? Them rats that were overdosing on marijuana, they didn't die from an overdose, but they thought they were going to.
They forget about it, Joe. They forget about it, though.
I'm gonna die.
They slapped it through and forget about it. So anyways, why this is, so this LD50, the LD stands for lethal dose. And
Lethal dose, folks.
and lethal dose is something that so if you can't establish a lethal dose, then you cannot even qualify as a pharmaceutical. So that's why you guys don't see certain substances as medicine, because you were trained not to see it as a medicine unless it was poisonous.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, when you talk to people and you tell them about the difluconate that you cannot put on certain parts of your body, or you can only put it, on a few places, otherwise it starts to
Mess with your
destroy
kidneys or
your
whatever.
liver and kidneys. People don't know about that. And so that's why I'm like, why was I shocked about the fact that you cannot name a pharmaceutical without having an LD50 on it? Because nobody ever told you about LD50 until you started to work with pharmaceuticals or supplements or doctors or that kind of stuff. So this is kind of a paradox, and let's talk about that. And this is probably why it's our favorite topic too, because we like paradoxes, don't we?
What is a paradox?
Well, it's when we talk about food and drugs. So what is a food and what is a drug? What is poisonous and what is medicine?
The
Yeah.
Food and Drug Administration.
Right, that's why
Our
we're asking that
teamwork
question.
together to
So the thing about
encapsulate you.
the thing about there is that
You're
Indian,
captive.
I don't know if it's an Indian
Yeah,
saying,
it was
but
an
I
Indian
keep hearing
saying.
it from you all the
Yes,
time.
he was an Indian chief, and he said I was asking him about poison. I was getting off heroin, and he was helping me to detox, and he gave me this vial of cayenne pepper oil and something else, and I just had to take drops of that under my tongue to keep my blood pressure from for me to have a heart attack or whatever from withdrawals. And I was
told you
asking him
not to
about
take too
poison,
much.
and he said everything's poison at the right amount.
When you take too much,
Yeah.
right? So that's the thing about, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about the kind of like medications that we may call medication. Like not everybody calls pulling out their singing bowls and praying over somebody
Sitting in the sun.
medication.
Yeah, but it is.
But it can be, or sitting in the sun, or in the fresh air, or whatever.
Being around my wife is medicine for me.
But it's very important when you think about that. Anything that can medicate you can also be a poison. Start to think about the interventions that don't add anything to your body that can turn into a poison. So one of the reasons why I like redox signaling molecules is because it's safer than food. Like,
Oh, yeah,
like literally, or some of the drinks, definitely safer than any other supplement or medications. So that's kind of like how.
You can't overdo it with this because your body turns it right to saline anyway.
Right.
So
And the similar, and so like kind of the other things that
we're talking about redox molecules, the little suckers we've been drinking for the last.
And I'm
years.
also talking about my favorite modalities that help me to get out of depression. Like I guess anxiety wasn't so much of a problem back then, but definitely improve my digestion, and mood,
Well, you guys
overall
have seen
mood,
my focus,
are simple things.
my ability to communicate, and able to sit next to her and listen to her talk. If you used to watch our shows, it was a banter, but it wasn't just for entertainment. It was because I couldn't hold my tongue. I couldn't sit still. I couldn't hear what she was saying and not talk. I mean, I could hear what she was saying, but I would talk right over her. And all those things that you guys might not have noticed that have gotten better over the last 6 months, it's a huge win at our house.
Absolutely.
A huge win.
So much less stress.
We're not arguing over top of each other just for the sake of me being brain damaged anymore. You know, Fru had to deal with that stuff, and she did it so gracefully. Thanks. And had patience and knew all along, even though the enemy comes in and steals your joy sometimes and lies to you sometimes, and you fall for it. But overall, knew that this is going to be okay. He's getting better every day. So these little changes that we do,
the
we want
little
to share with
changes
you
that
guys.
I've done, and they were very helpful, were the being like traveling between different brain frequencies, and definitely both prayer and meditation, because prayer can be a lot of different things, and meditation can also be a lot of different things. I think they all need to be taught separately, but people confuse them and misunderstand one or the other very often. But also physical exercise, and then of course we talked about the singing bowls, frequency-based things. That could be even just listening to nature or some sort of a music that helps you to relax. It doesn't really matter. But the point is that I'm extra grateful for those modalities that we mentioned here today, because they cannot hurt you. It doesn't matter how much you do them.
Right.
So you cannot pray too much, you cannot meditate too much, you cannot listen to music too much, you can do too much physical exercise, but it's very difficult to do too much if your
body shuts down. So.
Yeah, without your body showing it to you clearly. And then the same applies for the redox signaling. But so I think I like to hear from you guys, like what has been the most helpful for you with like regulating your hormones, like improving your digestion, your mood.
I want to throw this out there because it's just going through my head right now. We don't talk about our imagination enough, and daydreaming. Do you remember when you were a kid?
Visualization.
To have a Saturday
prayer.
when you didn't have to go to school and you got to go out and do whatever you wanted. Did you ever end up finding yourself, it's like laying down under a tree looking up the sky and just catching yourself daydreaming about something that you just didn't know anything about? But as a kid, I did that a lot. As an adult, I still do it. It's part of manifesting your future. Our brains work in negative against us 24/7. A constant battle of negativity and bad thoughts and stuff that don't even exist. You're not worrying about things that there's no reason to even worry about because it doesn't even exist, and your brain's going at it. So we don't recognize that our brain's doing that all the time. If we can take that and hey, it's working anyway, work it towards our advantage and start thinking of like how we did this. Tempest Villages is about to be announced. You guys are about to see a vision that we had 5 years ago, 6 years ago. We started talking about it, and God didn't just give it to us. He gave it to men across the water, across the pond, gave it to them. And when we all met each other finally, it was like I had already experienced it all. And now we've got a really impressive thing happening with what we're going to be doing, creating these villages for folks with CTE and other neurological diseases here in America. But it's already happening in the UK. It's so exciting that the reason I'm talking about that is the fact that daydreaming come into play. We thought of this when we were just meeting and just starting to date each other.
That was the very first
we
thing
have
we
conversations of us on film going,
like, how
could
we unite?
We want to make a community of
do.
folks like us. How dangerous would that be? A whole community of folks. What we were thinking was,
don't mess with those
with
villages.
what I'm doing, how I'm going from where homelessness, lost my mind, lost everything that when you lose material things, you can get all that back. You lose your job, you lose, you got it before with the brains that you got, you can do it again. But when you lose your brain, you don't have anything to rebuild. So you have to get your brain rebuilt. So that's what we were doing for that last 5 years of our life, was helping rebuild my brain capacity and what I could do with my brain. And during that time, we were capable of manifesting a vision that, I mean, dude, we didn't have nothing to do with it. It popped up and called us. That's what's so cool. Well, Fru met Roy, and then Roy, just within a few months, it all just, but it was all so meant to be. But we had envisioned it for 5 years and talked about it and just wrote about it and have it on video. Like, it's important for you guys to take the brain that you have. God give you power in that thing. Imagine great things. Imagine
that power
good
is
things.
in your mind
Yeah.
instead of
So
the brain.
the idea
That's
was
probably
that
important.
if I'm going through this,
Distinguish.
what's helping me is having her who understands me. And then she helped my family understand me. And then now we got a community where we live at, that the community, because of my family and who they are, and the pastor and who I am within that circle, people have given me grace. They understand me. They okay, he's now we. On the other hand, no one ever did. I'm 51 years old. Now all of a sudden they do. It was just a moment that changed everything, and we thought, well, if we can do that and duplicate it, that's what we would want to do all over the globe. Is if we could duplicate a community that understands. First of all, these people here have CTE. These are the symptoms they deal with. This is what we can expect out of them, and this is what we don't expect out of them.
That's why the sort of like the outlines of these conversations that we have here Saturdays have to do a lot with what were the things that we applied, because the big part of the scalability is that we don't, we don't come up with stuff that we didn't try.
No, all of this is our
and
experience.
we read about it, or like none of like. We tried everything, we saw the results, and that's all that we're sharing.
And we've documented it
that's
the
all,
whole
like,
time.
There's nothing else going on here, but as long as everybody can do that, then it's very, very easy to copy from one location to another, from, implement it into a different culture or whatever. You just need to be open and honest about it, that's all. So that's what these meant to be. That's why, I mean, for me personally, and I have to say this because I know that some people are like, curious to actually hear this of me saying, but for me, the nutrition, the meditation, and the exercise, those three together solved all the issues that I had, like literally physiologically. But because with the nutrition protocol that I was on was extremely strict and very time consuming, labor intense, I guess, to do. It's not something that is very affordable for everybody at every life stage. I understand that. And so when I entered a life stage or a season where I wasn't able to eat the way how I used to, I started to have migraines. I started to have chronic issues that I didn't have before. And I needed something to get through, while David needed extra support for his health, so that we could be at a level where, he could go out and do
We
things.
were functioning and getting better.
And so
she might have been getting worse. Health-wise, Fru was going down compared to where she was when I met her, because of the stress and the toxicity in the food, because she couldn't keep up with her nutritional plan with
But it was a time
all the rest.
restriction to
with all the rest going on too. It's just impossible. So
it was a different
she took a hit,
season.
but at the same time I got better. So together as a team we got better and better. Now we're about to implement the very plans that we did that changed my life into a whole village, a community, and we're duplicating it in one village at a time. I'm so excited about that.
Me too.
And not just here in America. They got the first two villages breaking ground here, like in the next few weeks.
So takeaway
Over in the UK.
for today though is that our bodies have these built-in recycling
system.
factories. Okay, so these are systems that are created within the body.
You look at the sky,
and our body is naturally created to heal itself and to remove everything that's toxic.
Look at nature, the trees,
and bring new where it's needed. So the mindset is gonna be important, but also to understand this, we need to support these processes,
yes.
so that we can become happier.
Don't work
we can
against
have more
yourself.
energy.
If you know these systems are at play inside your body, which they are, you look around, you see nature is everywhere. It shows you how we're created.
And
It works the same way with us, so
and
let's
we
work
are
with
not
it.
anti-medicine, by the
No.
way. Absolutely, we just want to say that because of how the nature of food
We see medicine
and
just differently than other
medicine
folks.
and drugs, they can be toxic or less toxic. It's the best to understand this process, this detox process, this autophagy, and then just find lifestyle choices that support
Right.
that process, and just little by
Work
little
with it, not against
just
it.
change your life by picking up one new little thing that's gonna help
This
you.
is 5 years ago. Look,
promote
I like
this
to tell this. We were
process.
talking to some lady yesterday, a friend of Fruz, and the first time I'd met her, and she was at a place in her life where I was at 44. She's now 44, right?
Who are you talking about? I'm
The
sorry.
girl we met last night.
Oh,
And what I was getting at was she was going through a moment where everything was changing in her life. And things are scary at those points when you're losing a bunch of this over here and you're like, there's a whole bunch of wonder what's
or
going to happen.
discouraging, like maybe not scary.
And
but
I want to point out that these lifestyle changes that we made 6 years ago, everyone saw it as people said I was transformed. I began living a new life, and it was one little thing at a time that changed it. I was just faithful with it. I didn't go back. So when I quit something, I replaced a bad habit with
except
something
sugar.
good.
With sugar, we went back and forth always.
I'm on a steady what you call it, a path with sugar.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and with sugar.
I haven't unloaded it 100% at all.
Yeah,
ever.
you did.
Did
when-
I?
Of course, when we did gap. Well, what
Oh,
are you
with the
ta-
gaps,
of
yes, I
course.
forgot about the gaps.
Yeah,
So I'm excited. We're about to
would
do
be
that.
Really bad
We're about
if
to
you
do
never
that
done
again.
That, David.
Yeah, I
I'll
know.
tell you that.
That we're about
if
to
you don't
do.
ever stop eating sugar for 7 years, and I don't really.
The
think
difference is what I'm trying to get at.
that
There's
you're
small
gonna get
little
really
things that
happy.
you don't see the difference in right away. But if you just stick with the small little movements, go back 6 years ago, look at my Facebook and look at the condition I was in then, and then see it now. And it didn't happen overnight. It did not happen overnight. It was 2 years ago when my dad told me I couldn't be a podcaster because I talked over everybody. Like, that's not how professionals act. And that was just 2 years ago. And I'm able to listen completely now, aren't I?
I don't
I've
know.
changed a lot.
Listen, so just you guys, right? I mean, please comment one thing
No,
that you're
no.
gonna not fast from, but what you're gonna try this week to support your natural detox.
Oh,
And
that's funny.
Could be a gentle fast. It could be just like skipping a morning meal, or try intermittent fasting for like a couple of days, or you could try a short sound bath. We love sound baths. And or you could try redox signaling molecules twice daily,
Well,
or,
the point is not to try these things, do them, and then don't stop.
or walk
Do 'em and don't
in the
quit.
morning. Well, but anyway, so like I guess I'm inviting you guys to pick
Yes,
one of
pick
those
something and do it.
and start doing it this coming week. And also, if you want to get Fru and David's Detox with Grace starter guide, then you should comment autophagy in the, and if you don't know how to comment that, then just read my description.
And if you don't get my point, just
And-
listen longer.
and then
Stefan.
you'll be able to.
Stefan
But
Glenn.
support the season, trust your biology, thank God every day for the tools that don't require a warning label.
Yeah.
And big old thanks again to the Patrick Rishasiti Awareness Foundation, whom you can visit at.
StopCTE.org.
We thank them for supporting brain-based families like ours.
Brain-based?
Brain-based.
We're brain-based?
Oh,
Did you hear that?
yeah.
I don't know what y'all base your life on, but
You
we're
don't need a
brain-based.
toxic fix, you guys, when you're designed to heal. So please join us next weekend, Saturday, 11/11.
And we'll be back home. When are we going
Central
home?
Time in the morning. This is morning. We're gonna be back in Denver next week.
Denver?
I mean, back home. I'm sorry. Yes, back to Mississippi.
Oh, yes, we go back on Wednesday.
And we'll see you guys then, or like you can follow David or me on Facebook, or find our YouTube videos and follow us over there, or whatever you want to do. DM us. Let us how much you love us. We love you
Tell
too.
us how much you love us. And I'll make a point later, Mr. Stephen Glenn, Smarty Pants.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Stay unburied, YouTube.